that hurt and that pain. And that's how the enemy pull you in. That's exactly how you pull you in. Go ahead, Karan.
So just to end this off, I feel like if you would have went to MLB, Major League Baseball, she could have went to the WNBA, I would have went to the NFL. We maybe would have had a higher stature in this physical life, but we wouldn't have had our testimonies.
Come on.
And let's say God wouldn't have loved us as much.
Keep going.
Because we wouldn't have had to, because it's a difference between, that's like your mother telling you, don't touch the stove. Or you don't touch it. But when you touch that stove and you know the heat, you get the knowledge and wisdom and understanding behind it. So I feel as though us choosing the path that we chose, now God can use us for more than just a WNBA star, MLB star, or an NFL star. He can use us for something greater.
Look at that. And I like that too, because it was a couple baseball players I followed, you know, in '86, and they got in trouble. They got in trouble, you know, with their addictions, drinking, you know, and if I shared their names right now, everybody who viewing the show would know exactly who they are. And when I gave my life back to Christ, you know, when I got off them streets, got cleaned up, you know, stopped selling drugs, my pastor, he took us to a men's conference, a TD Jakes men's conference. And we all got on the bus and we went to Atlanta. I never saw so many men, and it encouraged me. And we got to sit on the third row. We had some passes. And I looked up on stage, and behold, I saw those two baseball players who struggled, sat up on stage with Bishop TD Jakes, and my heart melted. But just like you said, you already had that addiction gene in you. Imagine if you did make Major League Baseball.
I'd have been a fool.
I'd have been probably just gone, you know? But it's a question, y'all. I want to help someone who's getting ready to go into treatment, and they never been in treatment before. What would you share with that individual if they're going into treatment and they scared, they never been in their families, never had to put their child into treatment, but they know that their child is going to die from this? What would you share to that family and that individual?
I want to say from personal experience, I want to say as for the person that's going in, my advice to them is to, I know it's easier said than done, but you have to stay positive.
Right.
Going into a treatment center for someone with an addiction and doesn't want to be there can seem like they're being placed in jail, like they're being placed in a psych ward, like they're being placed in a solitary confinement. And that's never fun for a person who has an addiction.
Ooh.
But you have to keep a positive mindset, because also a lot of people in treatment centers, which you don't understand, is that everybody isn't always meant to be there.
Break it down.
As a person who's supposed to be there to help you, everybody has a job. Some people are meant for their job, and some people are meant to come and get their paycheck. So also, you have to be mindful when you're going into treatment centers. Watch who is there, be mindful, have a good understanding, and pretty much be open to it.
Help somebody do it.
Right. Because it's easier said than done, which I always tell people, it's easier said than done, because I willingly went. But a lot of people have to be sent there.
Yeah, cool.
Right. So, and that's also hard for a person, because they think, oh, once this is over, I'm going to go back and do what I'm going to do regardless. A lot of people go with that mindset. But and for the parents, my advice to them is to be patient. You have to know patience, because I watch it all the time.
Right.
And then far so with the person that's going in, a lot of times being someone who has an addiction or had an addiction, we manipulate situations.
Come on.
You also have to watch that too. Go in, manipulate it, act like, oh, I'm better, I'm fine, I promise. Just get me out of here. It'll be all good. I got my medicine. I'm cooling. You come get me.
Right.
You have to watch that manipulation from whoever you're sending in there. You have to, but also be there for them. It's a hard time, just like someone going to jail. They call, be there for them. Because at the same time, you don't want to push them away, send them to an institution, send them away, make them feel like they're by themselves. Because in a lot of times, that's the worst way to feel when you're trying to recover and get yourself together. But also allow space. Because this is their time to heal, renew, get their minds right, and figure out who they were before this drug. Who can they be now?
Come on, daughter.
So yeah. That's my advice.
But you know what I heard also, India, what you were saying? Enabler.
Yeah.
Because you know when I'm talking to the parents, you know, that spirit it's not your son or your daughter. It's that spirit in them. And they will manipulate you and you'll wind up being an enabler to them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to leave it in God's hands. And a lot of people say, and a lot of the patients or the people going through said, oh, I'm going to die, grandma, I'm going to die, auntie, I'm going to die, dad. You know, I need these couple of dollars right now. This, that. Sometimes you just got to take your hands off, trust God, pray the prayer that God put a mark on them, that they won't OD, don't drug overdose, that nobody don't kill them out here in these streets. And you have to let go and you have to let God. You have to, it's scary. A parent, you have to let go and let God do his will because they have to get through that.
Oh, yeah.
Karan, what would you say to someone coming out? They feeling good, they sober, they got they muscles up and everything, and they on that last 3 days, and they getting ready to come home and they getting ready to hit these streets of Baltimore again. What would you say to that individual?
Me personally, I never had to go to treatment. I always went to jail. You feel what I'm saying? And I even went to the psychiatric home before. So me personally, so coming out of them two situations, a person gotta have a goal. You gotta have a goal. You gotta have a dream.
Right.
You gotta have a passion. You gotta have something to live for and someone to live for.
Yeah.
Because my mom had taught me that showing up for others is showing up for yourself. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of times that addict, that recovering addict, they don't know how to love themselves. The only love that they got is to love other people. So in turn, loving another person can teach you how to love yourself. You feel what I'm saying? But my advice for somebody that's coming home, just be mindful of persons, places, and things. You feel what I'm saying? Have a goal, have a dream, and stay focused. And like I say, fulfill that. You gotta, it's a place in your heart that addiction once corrupted. You have to fill that with something positive. It could be a new sport, a new hobby, anything, but you gotta fill that void up or else it will get filled again by your addiction.
I just enjoy hearing from the point of view of you young millennials, you know, because I have shows with all ages and I just love y'all so much, and I thank y'all for even being on this show with me to give that different aspect and that different look, you know. And just like you said, coming home, you know, you gotta have goals. You gotta be ready. And I even look into this camera, you know, to you individuals that's getting ready to come home, you know, from getting your help and the things you need. The devil coming for you. He doing push-ups. You know, he wants to taint you again. He's going to attack you spiritually. He's going to attack you mentally. He's going to attack you physically. He's going to send cravings for you. You know, he's going to send those temptations to you. It's like, do you have your goal? Do you have your materials in you? You know, that's why I'm a man of God. I go and worship God. I thank God for Facebook Live. I thank God for the Zoom worship services that come online. But I was never one to do Zoom. Zoom was good through the pandemic. But now as the worship doors, the houses are opening back up.
We in the flesh.
You know, you have these meetings you can go to. You know, the meetings for alcohol. You have meetings that you can go to for addiction. You got to stay with it. You got to stay with it because the enemy is coming back for you. And I want you to stay strong. And I want you to be encouraged. And that's all I have. And I thank y'all for tuning in with me and my wonderful guests right here, my production team. Until next time, I'll see you again on Cutting It Up.